Hey y'all, so welcome to this Scorpio full moon tarot reading, which is also a lunar eclipse. So it's a lot of energies we're working with. It is Taurus season, so shout out to all my Tauruses, gang, bull gang. So definitely enjoy what May has in store for you, and definitely enjoy all my Taurus goddesses, all my Taurus divine masculines. Hopefully you on your divine masculine shit. And to all of those who are not Tauruses, enjoy the season as well. It's getting warm, it's getting hotter here. You know, I broke off the shorts, my long ass legs was out here just basking in the glow that is the glory of the sun, because it's officially summer season. So I definitely enjoy myself. So I'm telling you, go out there, enjoy yourself. Okay, wear your sunscreen. Yes, even if you is black. Okay, black people need sunscreen too. Okay, black people do indeed get sunburned. It just doesn't look the same as, let's say, paler skinned people. But nonetheless, drink your water, because dehydration ain't a thing. Well, it is a thing, but you don't want it to be your thing. You don't want dehydration, so drink your water. Definitely get some sun, vitamin D, sunscreen, and just, live your best life and be responsible. But before we get into all that jazz that is this Scorpio full moon reading, let us set the mood. Let's clear out this space. So let me light up this sage. My birthday actually passed already. I'm not gonna tell you where my birthday was, but I had such a good time. It was so low key. I was just enjoying spending time with my friends, seeing what the city had to offer, because again, it was, literally the first day of summer, and it wasn't even spring. I'm pretty sure, because of climate change, so it didn't even transition like it was supposed to. Winter, spring, summer. It literally went from spring. It went from winter, hot, literally, no cap. But let's clear out this space. Let's clear out this energy. Let's make room for positivity, clear clairvoyance messages, so I can give you the reading that you so deserve, that you so need. Let us be positive. Let us be in our highest of energy. Let us leave any negativity, people, places, and things, imposter syndrome, and all that leaves us in our lowest vibration. Let us leave that in the background and not in this space when we get these messages. Ashe, ashe. We don't want these problems, okay? Ain't no forest fires happening tonight, okay? Not on my watch. But let's spray. This is some lavender spray. It's organic, it's all natural. We're gonna spray it so we can be present, we can be centered. Lavender helps us, take things slow, be in our body, feel our feelings, but not get too carried away, if you catch my drift. Okay. Let me put things. There might be some sounds in the background. Like I said, it's been hot for the last couple of days, so the windows are cracked. I don't do AC. I hate AC. I do not understand how people will be okay with cold ass air on them. Like, hot ass air on you isn't good either. I get it. Like, who likes a fan? But like, who likes an AC? I never understood. Why would you want a freezer? Why would you want to be in a freezer? Why would you want cold air blowing on you? I never liked it. I'm not an AC fan. I am just a natural, like, shore breeze. I like being close to the sea when it's hotter out, because you get that nice breeze that levels the weather. But I am not AC and dry and catch a cold underneath the AC. I'm not that girl. So let us see where the astrology is. But before we even get to where the astrology is, let me explain why we're even here. Besides the full moon happening right now, and it's an eclipse, what we're going to be discussing is, what is this video even about? And for this particular tarot oracle card reading messages for the collective, we're going to focus mostly on that scorpionic energy. And what do I mean scorpionic? So Scorpio is very much the 8th house, right? And 8 is very personal in numerology. Scorpio, the 8th house, is very much about death and rebirth. I just told you it was cold, and then went hot out of nowhere. Climate change, real issue. But nonetheless, It's very much of that change. It's very much of that deeper emotional understanding, that shadow work, that unconscious. It's also speaking about money that you owe. So this could be debt, but this could also be working with other people's money, investing. This could be lies. This could be secrets. This could be like you thought someone was this way, but they really that way. It's a lot of that death and rebirth energy to emerge better than you were before the experience. Very much a phoenix rising from the ashes. And in this particular full moon Scorpio full moon reading, we're going to focus more so on the elements of Meg Thee Stallion and Kevin Samuels. I cannot believe I said the last part, but we're gonna go there. And we're gonna talk about these particular public figures to really harvest the messages within these pick-a cards. As you can see, it's a pick card. It's not the traditional tarot readings that I do underneath the full moon. It's more so some messages that connect with whatever you're going through, from your divine team, your ancestors, your earth fairies, whoever who is working on the material side, the actual physical side, and whomever or however entities, spirits, even like your ancestors. It could be a grandmother that passed, an aunt that passed, or an ancestor that you never met but you heard of and you admire. What are some messages that they would like for you to know? So this is what we're going to get from this pick a card scenario, but we're going to tie it into these public figures. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of people know who Meg Thee Stallion is. If not, she is a rapper from Houston. She had a couple of hits and bops. She came very much on the underground Houston scene, the mixtape scene. She got a lot of buzz. Then she ended up signing from her original record label, 1804, to Beyonce's and Jay-Z's Rockefeller. So she has more than one contract with different entities within the music group, of the music industry. So she ended up making a song during the pandemic, one which was Savage, and the remix featured Beyonce, which hyped up the song. There was a whole viral TikTok challenge. It was very global. It was very interactive, even virtual, and even in the on-site physical realm, because everybody wants to participate in the challenge. So she got a lot of buzz, a lot of attention. She started feeling herself collaborating with different artists. She crossed paths with this rapper from Canada named Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez, on the other hand, has always been trying to get into the industry, make a name for himself, but he was never really eye-catching. Not only because he wasn't much of an attraction to look at, but it always seemed like he had the energy of a wannabe versus a person who believed in their craft, stood on their artistic ability, and let that shine. It always seemed like he was very much of a clout chaser. He even tried to bet Drake into making a song that's better than Drake, and Drake would, I don't know, be so enamored that Drake would have to fulfill Tory Lanez's bet, and that bet fulfillment was Tory Lanez and Drake had to do a song together. Drake ignored it, and he offered Drake $10 million, not 10 million, he didn't have 10 million, like, no. He offered Drake $10,000 to participate in the bet. Drake didn't need the $10,000, nor did he need Tory Lanez, so he didn't pick up to what Tory Lanez was trying to put down on the table. He was not agreeing to that. And he's always been trying to debate and try to like take jabs at Drake, trying to get Drake's attention. On the come up, before people even knew what a Tory Lanez was, he was even going around Canadian radio stations talking about he was Drake's half brother. Now, if you ever seen what Drake looked like, and you ever Google what a Tory Lanez looked like, there's no way in hell anybody with any sense would actually believe that they were full-blooded brothers, half brothers, even step brothers. It just did not correlate. So long story short, Megan, during the quarantine season, that was the pandemic that's still going on. Don't let them lie to you. It's still a problem out in these streets. Rates are steadily climbing now. But as Tory and Megan were getting to know each other, hanging out, this, that, and the third, they were seen with each other. One particular night when Meg and Cardi B were filming the music video WAP, they were filming it at Kylie Jenner's house. And Megan was there, her friend Kelsey was there, her friend at the time, they're not friends no more, but her friend of the time, Kelsey was there, Meg was there, Kylie was there, Tori was there. And some altercation happened within the home, some type of like situation where Meg was like, you know, I want to go home, I'm tired, I've been on set all day, I was shaking my ass with Cardi, like I want to go home. It's she, from Megan's point of view, said that Kelsey and Tori did not want to go home. But Meg being the Beyonce of the group, and they're only there as tag-alongs. They're only there as a +1 times 2 because Meg was there to shoot a video with Cardi at Kylie's. Tori and Kelsey was not featured in the music video, and like no one cared for them to be there. So when Meg said she had to go, like, you a +1, it's time for you to get up and go. But apparently they didn't want to go, but they ended up going. They were in the car, Kelsey, Tori, Meg, and somehow, some way, Tori's gun got unholstered, if it was even in the holster, because you know sometimes these men don't like wearing holsters because they think they're big and bad until they shoot somebody in the foot like Meg, and that's what happened. So originally Meg was trying to save face for Tori and said that she stepped on some glass, and you can see TMZ video where the police was called after the gun went off. You see Meg's foot is bleeding and she's walking like a newborn deer or newborn doe. That would be a baby deer, a newborn doe. Her feet were very unstable, her legs were very wobbly, and originally she told the police that it was glass, but the doctor came and like blew up her spot and said like, where are these bullet fragments from? So then she had to come clean to the police and said that Tori shot her, and so on and so forth. So the scorpionic energy here is very much, you need to pick better friends, but more so, and you see this more in the interview that Megan had with Gayle King. She talked about trying to serve or preserve face for Tori, that she didn't want to get him in trouble, that she was thinking of protecting him, and how Tori was more so thinking about himself and his own reputation. Don't tell anybody, I'll offer you 100, not 100 because he doesn't have 100 million, but Tori said to Megan at the time, if you don't tell anybody that I shot you, I'll offer you $1 million. Please don't tell anybody, please, please, please. He was more worried about saving face in that situation when the police was doing the investigation, more than he was with her safety, and he was the one harming her. And ever since that incident, Tory Lanez has been taking shots at her, been trying to lie and say Megan is aggressive, making money off the situation, clowning her, harassing her, popping up at events that she's at. She put a restraining order on that man. That man won't listen. So very much of a, I get to overstep your boundaries and you have to accept it. Very much of a megalomaniac, very much of a narcissist, very much of a person who doesn't respect women's autonomy, feels that he has to break them, harm them, overpower them, very much of a bugaboo. And with this situation, a lot of people at the time were telling Meg, you're growing too fast. You need to slow it down. Fast, 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 crash, crash, crash. That you too friendly. That you need to vet people better. But because she's young, she's dumb, she's probably hooked up with a lot of vices, she wanted to expand and explore. And she even mentioned that her mother passed, her grandmother passed, her father passed, all within a short time. She doesn't really have family. So she was very vulnerable to the entertainment industry. And you know, there's a lot of snipers, a lot of snakes, a lot of tigers, a lot of bears in the industry, from R. Kelly to Weinstein and everything in between. Okay, so she was very vulnerable, and she thought that these people were her friends because they are featured in the same category within the industry, rappers with rappers, R&B singers with rappers, and so on and so forth, as well as, you know, she's making money, they notice her, they're giving her a lot of good attention and feedback, they do the same activities together, like go to a strip club, because that's activities that you do as pairs, I guess, and other things, you know, like rich nigga shit. Like, so she felt like these were her people. She finally made it. She made it into her class, but then she had to realize, just because you got a Rolls Royce and another person got a Rolls Royce does not mean that they're a kind-hearted person. Just because you flexing and another person's flexing does not mean that they have your back. Some people are around you because they want to eat off of you. They want the attention. They want the limelight. They're jealous of you. They're waiting for your downfall. They want to create your downfall. And in that situation, Meg had to figure out who was her real friend. Kelsey ended up switching sides and holding on to Tori than her friendship with Megan. their friendship has dissolved. I don't think that could ever be repaired. It is what it is, but it's sad that they didn't even last, 1 or 2 years within the industry, and their relationship collapsed, and over dick, might I add. And then she had to learn that just because some guy is in your face and he flatters you up and he tells you all the things that you want to hear does not mean that he has a good intention for you. And that is something she had to learn. A lot of young women learn that the hard way. You cannot think that because this man smiles in your face that he is a good man just because he smiles in your face. Like, you have to be aware of patriarchy. You have to be aware of the subconscious mind of an unevolved man, a man who is very aware of his demon time behaviors, brags about his demon time behaviors, has a history of putting hands on women. Like, that's a pattern of behavior. You should have saw that coming. But when you're young, you're unexperienced, and you know, a hard head makes for a soft ass. Sometimes you gotta go through things to experience and know these things, okay? Sometimes you gotta have that anecdotal experience. Nobody can say it for you because a hard head makes for a soft ass. Another aspect with this Scorpionic energy, we have Mr. Kevin Samuels. Full disclosure, I don't watch his content. Full disclosure, I don't care for his content. Full disclosure, I don't engage with people who are on that vibration. Full disclosure. But I know of Kevin Samuels, not because of who he is and what he has done. I know about him more from the women who swear up and down that they don't like him, that he's harming black women, that he's this, that, and a third, but will watch every live stream, will retweet every Twitter quote. They will watch every debate. They will follow every social media account. They swear up and down. They don't like this man. They hate what he stands for, but they are his biggest fans. Now, you tell me the cognitive dissonance in that. But nonetheless, we're talking about him because he passed. Now, he passed under what has been alleged some sketchy circumstances, and I'm not surprised. Men like him always end up in some sketchy situations. It's usually with some young girl who got who can outthink and out-scheme a young geezer, as Cardi B. So his whole rhetoric was black women are bad, inherently bad, because they don't meet the standard that is ever so changing, because the goalpost is ever moving. And who cannot, black women, expand, contort, fold, break in half for black men, for black men's amusement, right? And I say this because you'll find a lot of contradictory in that black pill, incel, MGTOW collective, right? But they're entitled to believe and say what they say, even though I disagree. What I'm more shocked and appalled by is the women who literally made their bread and butter off of a black man disrespecting their own image. To me, that's wild crazy. But that's not the point that we're talking about this particular figure. The way this man passed was the same way that he came in to these spaces. He came in like a storm, disrespecting black women, talking about black women's features, talking about black women's sexual histories, just a blanket generalization, very much dismissive of context, very much sexist, very much racist, very much classist, and very much humiliation. It's like a humiliation ritual for these particular men. The same men who swear up and down black women are the most disgusting, ratchet, just scum of the earth, are always trying to get between the legs of said black woman that they find despicable. Whether it's the TS's, whether it's the KS's. They hate black women so much, but they can't stay out the pussy of a black woman. No different than a Klansman. No different. So black women internalizing that again, says more about the women who internalize that versus KS himself. The way he came in is the way he came out, disrespecting black women, and apparently, allegedly, at his last few minutes on this earth with the F, he was with a young early 30-something-year-old black woman under mysterious circumstances. And I'm not making apologies for this man. I'm not even going to psychoanalyze this man. I'm not going to apologize for this man. I'm definitely not going to cape for this man. But the reason why this scorpionic energy or this scorpionic element is tied within this particular reading is to showcase that a lot of what people looked at KS as like, oh, he's an alpha man, he's this, he's that. What they admire is the humiliation factor. Especially because a lot of these men, they have this sick fantasy of going back to this 1950s, 1940s, Leave It to Beaver aspirational 2.5 kids in a picket fence that most Americans, and most Americans are white indeed, did not even have that experience. Most Americans were poor during those times. It was only a select few that benefited from certain programs like the GI Bill, like the homeowner policies that made it easier for people to start owning properties and buying up properties. In those particular bills and policies, there was blatant sexism. There was blatant racism. Women weren't even allowed to have a credit card until the 70s. Okay? So a lot of these men are disenfranchised, disillusioned, and a lot of them feel as if because they weren't able to make the white standard of what it means to be successful, and for a multitude of reasons. It could be their criminal record, it could be their behavior, it could be their attitude, it could be a whole lot of things. But the fact that they can't live the Jeff Bezos grandiose lifestyle, that they aren't the quote-unquote head of household, that they don't get to rule over women. They come to these online spaces and then they get to recreate a fictitious past that never existed, and how they're going to reclaim that fantastical past that never existed. And the first way to do so is by humiliating their own women, black women, because they know that black women still care. Most black women will be very much loyal to black men, even those who do not have that same loyalty and that same grace for black women. And you know, negativity and salaciousness goes fast across the world before the truth can catch up. So a lot of these disenfranchised men, due to classism, due to racism, can't keep up with this economic system that is late stage capitalism. They entertain these talking points because A, they don't know, they don't read, they're looking for a male figure to look up to. A lot of them don't have fathers, don't have real male figures to look up to. So they're looking for a justification for why their life isn't on the fast track. So they hive mind and they feed each other the same sexist and racist rhetoric. This is no different if you go to the 4chans and the Reddits and the same white incel, MGTOW spaces. It's the same shit they do to white women. So it's a male thing. Male patriarchal violence, toxic masculinity, male fragility, the typical that is patriarchy. But a lot of those men in those black spaces, they want to enact those behaviors, those talking points in real life. And the white males do it too. When they do it, they end up like an Elliot Rodger, right? Or that male that went into the Georgia massage parlor and shot it up, that Asian massage parlor. They tend to enact in violence, typically with a gun. But these males, these black males on that MGTOW energy, they want to popularize it. They want to capitalize off it. This is why they have the live streams, they have the Patreons. They want to profit off of this and make it as a gospel, some type of truth, some type of deeper, like breaking the matrix, the Da Vinci Code, breaking the Morse code. Because in their minds, if they can spread the message, enough men will get in line with this toxic mentality, that demon time energy, and then they will normalize it. And then the black women who still, which are the majority, who are still living and dying to be noticed, to be chosen, to be adored by black men who go out of their ways to say, black bitches bring dark days, or they go out of their ways to say, I only do exoticals and biracials, I don't do no dark, like, beautiful black women, I bet that bitch look better red. Like, they're still attached to that particular energy. So when these males digest that toxic black pill and they make it normal, they spread this gospel of hate and chauvinism and sexism and patriarchy, these women will digest that information and convert and contort themselves, right? Well, today it's dark skin, it's black love everywhere. Tomorrow is biracial. Then the next day is natural hair. The day after that is straight hair. Then it's big booties. Then it's small booties. Then it's smart, but not too smart. And it has to be traditional housewife, but you also have to bring half of the money to the table. Like, it's always this shape shifting because they don't know their identity, because they can't keep up with patriarchy, white patriarchy at that, because they don't have the means to be successful in capitalism, because they have no capital, because they're broke. Now they come to devour the women. So with Kevin Samuel, the same rhetoric he was spewing out, it came back to bite him in the ass. He died during Taurus season, very Venusian, very much of that feminine goddess energy. Kevin Samuels was an older gentleman, but he wasn't that old to have passed. I think he was in his, 50s? Maybe early 60s? He's not, in today's terms, in a quote-unquote first world nation, was starting to look like a third world nation, if you ask me, with the baby formula shortage. But nonetheless, in the high inflation and the homelessness, starting to look like a third world country. But nonetheless, in this supposed first world country, dying at 50-something, 60s, early 60s is, I don't even think he was in his 60s. I think he really was in his 50s. I don't even think he was in his 60s. Dying in your 50s is considered young. So the way he made his money, he made his accolades, he spew out his toxicity and had black women trying to make excuses, trying to live up to these benchmarks that are forever fleeting, because the male gaze is forever fleeting, and being pick-me's for a man on the internet who has no effect on your life, no effect on how you eat, has no lord over you, but somehow, somewhere, you have to burn yourself out trying to meet his expectation, while this man you won't ever meet in real life. And now he did, so you really won't meet him. So all that destruction and chaos energy, because that man was very much sweeter than a Swisher, if you catch my drift. Man couldn't keep a wife, divorced at least once, but people wanted to hold on to the rhetoric because it was divisive, it was salacious, there was money in it, it was debate, it was hot, it was fiery, like that Mars energy that represents that Scorpionic energy. Fucking and fighting, fussing and loving, back and forth, fourth baby mama type of energy. We make up to break up. So gender wars. And the same shit he spewed out is the same shit he got back. Scorpionic energy, rebirth. And now the space is somewhat available. But now it's like, who's going to be Kevin Samuels Jr.? Who's going to fill in that space? And you know, there's so many men itching for that spot. Just like there's a female version of that. So many women who are itching to be the female version of a Kevin Samuels. And that space is forever changing as well. Scammers know scammers. So that's what I wanted to talk about within this particular video. It went deeper than I thought within the context of this particular reading. But let's get into where the planets are in the astrology, and then I'll read to you what this full moon is about. So, Mercury retrograde in Gemini. Mercury enters Taurus at Sunday, May 22nd. Venus is in Aries. Venus enters Taurus at Saturday, May 28th. Mars in Pisces. Mars enters Aries at Tuesday, May 24th. Jupiter is in Aries. Jupiter goes station direct in Aries at July 28th. Saturn is in Aquarius. Saturn goes station direct or station retrograde in Aquarius, Saturday, June 4th. Uranus is in Taurus. Uranus goes station retrograde in Taurus at Wednesday, August 24th. Neptune in Pisces. Neptune goes station retrograde in Pisces at Tuesday, June 28th. Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. Pluto goes station direct in Capricorn at Saturday, October 8th. Chiron in Aries. Chiron goes station retrograde in Aries at Tuesday, July 19th. So there's a lot of energies within Aries, which is the planet that co-rules over Scorpio, because also Pluto is associated with Scorpio. And Pluto is in Capricorn retrograde currently, and Mars is in Pisces. So a lot of that order, a lot of that like illusions are being demystified. A lot of things are coming into the clarity. So I have an article on the Scorpio full moon. This is from mindbodygreen.com. What to know about the upcoming full moon eclipse based on your zodiac sign. We're just going to do the overview. A quick overview this full moon. The exact astrological full moon will peak at 12:15 a.m. on Monday, May 16. The full moon will be at 25 degrees Scorpio, with the sun opposing at 25 degrees Taurus. This moon also features a total lunar eclipse, with the sun conjuncting the north node in Taurus and the moon conjunction the south node in Scorpio. Because the moon connected with emotions is conjunct with south node connected with the past, many people may be revisiting, reprocessing, and or releasing people, feelings, and relationships from their past during this eclipse. And since the moon is in Scorpio, there's also a distinct theme of emotional transformation present, with an opportunity to make a change or gain insight that helps us move forward toward our dharma or destiny. This is due to the sun's connection to the north node destiny and Uranus change flash of insight during this eclipse. So currently, like we said, Uranus is in Taurus, and due to the north node is very much talking about our destiny and the astrology right now. Currently, the earth is north node Taurus, south node, and Scorpio. So with that Uranus energy, it's telling us that there is a steady change in our direction, in our karma, and the energy that we have been manifesting, not only within this energy that is the Taurus season in this, full moon eclipse slash, full moon, but also what we have been carrying with us, our learning lessons, the people, places, and things that we have let go, or we have transformed our relationships, how we have grown, if we have grown, or the things that are erupting in us that we have to pay attention to before we cause our own tower moments. This eclipse being in Scorpio is also ruled by Pluto, which forms a favorable sextile relationship to the moon and south node, doubly emphasizing the transformational energies. And with Mars forming a trine to the moon and south node, it activates and infuses the eclipse with the energies of movement and assertion. Eclipse effects sometimes take months or years to fully manifest. During the acute eclipse, energy is setting up that will have residual impacts for several years. Now, as I was saying, with these particular cards, I give you the example of Kevin Samuels. He done died, scorpionic energy, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I'm not the type of person who revels in people's death, but I'm also not that fake person who's like, oh, someone has caused harm when they were living, but now that they're dead, we got to pretend like they... No. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm not going to be a demon time and dance on your grave. That's hella disrespectful. But if your name comes up in conversation, I'm going to be like, yeah, they a liar. Yeah, they a cheat. Yeah, they a rapist. They ain't shit. Whoop. Yeah, of course. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Of course. But I'm not going to make a whole celebration off of death. I'm not into necromancy. You got the wrong one. But like I said, this is a pick a card. So I'm going to give you some time to choose your particular deck. I just remembered that I didn't do any sound, I didn't do any tapping bowls. I really just wanted to jump into this particular video. I haven't recorded in a while, so maybe I got ahead of myself. But now that I remembered that I didn't even give y'all a tapping bowl, I'm going to give different sounds to each of these particular decks while y'all think and ponder what particular pile speaks to you. And in this particular deck, which is the tarot, I'm going to shuffle for each particular deck. And whatever card comes, I'm going to read how the energies with these oracle cards all tie in together. Boom. So let me get the singing bowl. Okay. So for particular pile number 1, you see, we have the Messages of Life oracle card. Then we have the Earth Magic oracle card. Then we have the Moonology oracle card. And then we have the Unknown Wild Animal card deck. Tarot? Let me get the particular deck. I don't say it wrong. The Wild Unknown Tarot. Yes. And finally, we have the Wild Unknown Tarot. So each particular pile is set up exactly the same. I just wanted y'all to know what y'all were getting within these chords. Okay. Now, for pile number 1, for the audience, this is the particular sound with the same bowl. For pile number 2, this is the particular sound of the same bowl. For pile number 3, this is the particular sound from the same bowl. Okay, so let me put it here. Hopefully you picked your pile. So we're going to start with pile number 1 because it's literally number 1. Let's move these piles to the side. Before we get into these oracle cards, let us pick out a particular tarot card to see what is the overall energies that I will be picking up within this particular pile, for pile 1. What does pile 1 have to say within these particular energies? We have the 5 of Swords in reverse. Ha! And in this particular tarot deck, it literally is an earthworm cut into with all these swords and whatnot. And it's in reverse. So our particular first card is trusting. Today, I trust in God. No matter what happens as my day unfolds, I will remember to remain in harmony. I will maintain my sense of humor and I will keep my focus on God's love for me. In these ways, I will minimize drama and increase my inner spiritual strength. I know the sun went down, so hopefully y'all could still see. And this is what the image looks like for this particular oracle card. So it's talking about trusting. I see like there might have been some like healing going on, putting yourself back together again. Could have been like a separation or divorce. You know, your kids might be leaving home, so they might be going to college or just like moving out on their own. But I see maybe this could be one of those things where it's like, I don't want to be dependent on something or anything. Like I want to try new things. I want to venture off. I want to expand my horizons. It could also be a situation where it's like you knew you had to heal something. You had to leave something alone. Like you had to get back to center, had to get back to your own personal grounding, finding out who you are, maybe outside of the relationship or outside of a particular situation. And this is the season where that let go and let God. Speaking of letting go, let God, if you can see this particular figure, it's a woman. She's literally in the hands of God. So I feel like with this, it's very much either you're asking God to like hold you, to like keep you covered, keep you protected in God's hands, or God is like you're in the right hands, whether it's a right person, a right scenario, or God is saying this is a message to comfort you, to let you know that you're on the right path, to let you know that God is with you. My phone just went off, so maybe that means something to you. Maybe that is a confirmation, but very much like you're in God's hands, very much like you're guided, you're very much protected, you're very much in the right hands, literally. So this could be a giving, like God is giving you a message that you're in the right direction, or you're asking like God take the wheel. So God is like holding you, receiving you. Then we have dragonfly emergence. This is very much this spring season. As you can see, this is very much that Mother Earth energy. She's very much coming up from the lakes, coming up from the waters. It's very much clear spring water. It's spring season. So I feel like this is restored. This could be your health. This could be your emotional state. This could be doing some shadow work. So you want to clear some of that clutter in your unconscious. This could also be speaking of like now you have maybe shed some pounds. You're feeling good about your body. You know, you want to flaunt what you got, but very much like coming from the waters, very much of a lotus flower, like you're emerging like a swan. You're coming to being with this particular energy. You could be strengthening your intuition, your wisdom, very much. Even some people might say you're psychic, you're clairvoyant, you're very much able to read and be perceptive. You might be into having flowers. You might purchase yourself some flowers, or maybe just had some flowers delivered to you or given as a gift. This is giving me very much like maybe rose, but it could be tulips. It could be any flower, honestly. Could even be a purple flower. But I see this is very feminine grace, but it's not even trying. It's like very effortless. It's giving me very much tease, to be honest with you. It's like Rihanna. It's like, does Rihanna even know what a bad angle looks like a bad photo look like? It's like she always ready to snap a pic or get a pic snapped of her. Like, does she have bad angles? And I feel like this is you. You're not trying hard. You just are. You're very much poised, very much comfortable in who you are. Maybe you have a crown. Maybe you are mature. Maybe you have a lot of responsibilities. Maybe the matriarch in your family. Maybe very much that Venusian queen energy, goddess energy. You might be welcoming in a new child into your home, whether giving birth or taking a child into your home, but very much the energy of light and carefree emergence. You're coming, you're being. And your particular card is Pisces with all this watery ass energy. And I believe it is Mars that is in Pisces, if I am correct. Let me see. What is in Pisces? Yes, Mars is in Pisces right now. So with this particular energy, and this is very much that scorpionic energy, I feel like there's certain things that you're accepting about yourself, maybe universal truths. Maybe there's certain things that you thought that was your forever and your plans are shifting. You're becoming more independent. You're trying new things. You might be leaving your small town or joining new groups, but very much of like shaking that water, very much of that star energy. You might be getting around new collective of people, meeting new people, networking, getting a new job. But I feel like being very balanced. But before you go out and take charge of the world, you have to really be at one and at peace with yourself. And this is where this Five of Swords, it very much comes together. If you're literally broken in half, let's say this was upright, this would be like imposter syndrome, betrayal, stress, like you don't know who to trust, like who's the ops? How you gonna be on this emergence energy if you on this like my mind's playing tricks on me? You don't know who's friend, who's foe. Like, how is that gonna work? You're gonna split yourself in two, and you're probably going to, F up whatever blessings that are coming to you with this trust and you in God's hands. So with this Five of Swords actually being in reverse, it's allowing you to take these energies, to immerse yourself in these energies, to accept these new flowing energies, these new cycles, these new beginnings, these feminine Venusian energies to come in, because you're receptive. What didn't serve you, what was decaying, that what was lagging, what was taking you down, no longer is a factor. And because of this, you can accept and trust your path, trust these messages, and emerge on top of this new path, new beginning, new opening, new project, new child, just this newness, and your balance, and not split in two, not out your mind. Your mind, body, and soul all are connected into one, because you are one with yourself. Therefore, when God is putting these messages on your path, you can be one with God, because you are one with yourself first and foremost. And isn't God in us? If we are made in His, but me, hers, reflection, then doesn't that mean that there's a little bit of God in you? It's the God in me, it's the God in you. On some Mary-ish. But that is what I got for you, pile number 1. Thank you for entertaining me and being here for your particular messages. May you slide you to the side, make you feel all right. So pile number 2, welcome. Let me clear out your space. Let me breathe in. And let me breathe out. Gotta give you the respect that you deserve, because it's your turn. Let me see what tarot card for you. I guess you just hopped out. Hop up off the cord. Just hopped out. Gotta make sure no water gets on my tarot cards, because any tarot reader will tell you water is the devil when it comes to these cards. Whether it's tarot, whether it's oracle, water is the devil. Okay, it will ruin a beautiful set of chords quick, fast, in a hurry. Okay, so your card is actually pile number 2, Queen of Pentacles, and we're gonna let this ride. Literally, no exaggeration, all day, since the sun has been up all day, whether it's the cop cars or the ambulance, and I live on a busy street. It is a main street. Whichever it is, police car, ambulance, literally, soon as they get to the street of mine, they stop. But then 2 streets later, they put the siren on, and I'm like, so is there really an emergency, or you're just doing this to piss me off? Because I feel like you're doing this to piss me off, because I don't feel like there's an emergency, because once you leave my street, it's pretty silent. If it's an emergency, it's still an emergency. Like, what? But yeah, that's one of my pet peeves. I hate with a passion, hate ambulance sounds and police cop sounds. I just hate it. But anywho, pile number 2. So you have the Mother of Pentacles. And interesting, if you don't look hard enough, you won't notice that there's a doe like literally underneath this mother figure. And it's interesting because I've talked about, gosh, I'm a flinch at low doe, and we're talking about her mother's not here. So this could be a message for mothers and daughters who are in separation, mothers and daughters with some type of maternal figure that you no longer talk to or has passed. You're looking for some guidance. You're looking to be nurtured. You're looking to be comforted, just like this doe with the mother. Look carefully, because you might think this is part of the body, but it's actually a little doe with the mama right here. But it might be saying that you're looking for some messages. There might be a feminine energy that's going to come through these particular messages. So hold on tight for that comfort. We have Dance to the Rhythm of Life. Ooh, you know what this reminds me of? It really reminds me of Megan when she had that Savage Challenge, TikTok challenge thing. And it's all dancing, it's all choreography. I feel like, don't ever doubt the divine when the messages come through. Okay, this is Dance to the Rhythm of Life. This is very much like, maybe you and your mother or this feminine energy, you danced a lot. It's very creative, very much like, maybe she had a very child-free energy, very much will play with the kids, bang on the pots and pans, color with the crayons, go outside and put her feet in the mud, like very much like free, very much run through the fields of like daisies and sunflower, very much of like wanderlust. Like you just, it's very much summer. It's very much like, life, literally high vibration. And it says dance to the rhythm of life. Could be a hot girl season, hot girl summer, you know. Today I find the joy in my heart. I lighten my life by releasing what I no longer need. I align myself with who I am, and I gently acknowledge who I am not. I am grateful for what I possess and am at peace with what I do not. I appreciate and accept my life as it is. I live according to the will of God. In this way, I dance with life and I see the magic of love bloom. I feel like if y'all are in separation, especially from this feminine energy, I feel like with this particular message, she's like, whenever you're looking to validate my existence, remember that particular inside joke. Remember that experience. Remember that insider thing just us two knows. It's like an inside joke. That still carries on. Like if you had a joke about, let's say, flashing lights, or you had a joke about like, let's say, nature. You know, sometimes Black people be like, oh, you smell like outside. Like whatever the case may be, like that still resonates. That might be a confirmation with the horn. But very much the energy of like, I'm watching, I'm seeing you. If fireflies mean something to you, that energy is still around. I feel like with this energy of like, don't doubt where you at, don't doubt your particular path. Like even if this feminine energy isn't in the 3D, they support you, they love you, they are here for you. Don't think about shoulda, woulda, coulda. It is what it is. Keep moving forward. Don't think that this person rejected you, this person don't care about you just because they're not here in the physical, that they're no longer around. That is very false. They're very proud of you. They very much want you to feel supported and comforted. They want you to feel like they are your personal blanket on the inside. So like in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, know that this feminine energy is still here for you. Don't be on that like, I should have saved them, I could have done this, done the third. Like, nah. I feel like this feminine energy is at their happiest when you're at yours. I feel like this is a feminine energy that very much supported you, loved you, nurtured you, like very much was pro you, your biggest fan, your biggest cheerleader. Like they just want you to be happy because your happiness makes them happy. And I started hearing like shakes, and not even shakes. Like I didn't light my candle on because it's hot. And also, I didn't want to, but I literally heard like, you know when you put a candle on and the flame is like dancing really hard, and then it does like that poop, that pop sound, and it might have that like smoke, that black smoke that kind of pops out for a second as the wick like flicks. That's what I heard. But I know it's not possible because the candle isn't on. So maybe candles mean something to you. Maybe you in this feminine energy like scented candles, or had your favorite candle, or something like that with candles, or light, something to that particular effect. Lake, stillness. So I feel like with this is so very much get back to nature, get back to yourself, get back to the rootedness. As you can see with this particular oracle card, she's dancing to the rhythm of life in nature. And as you can see with this lake, it's literally nature. Like where the hell else you go find a lake? In the metaverse? No. But with this is stillness. I feel like maybe y'all been doing too much. Maybe you've been ripping and running. Maybe you haven't been taking time out to see what you need and how to give it back to yourself. Have you been self-caring? It might be time for you to do that self-caring. Maybe doing it in isolation, not out of like depression, but it could just be like, I need a break. I need to get back to myself. I need to just like be alone, be with my thoughts, be in meditation. Like it might be that particular energy. Maybe you like going to the lake. Maybe a lake means something significant to you. Maybe this feminine energy used to take you to the lake. We had emergence with the first deck, so maybe that's connected with the emergence. This could be very much connected. This is maybe a person who taught you how to swim, made you very comfortable. with that feminine energy. Maybe lake or water reminds her of the pregnancy carrying you, or some type of connection with water, some kind of connection with just being connected with self. And with your Moonology card, you have nothing will come of this situation void of course moon. Now with this particular card, before you know you jump to conclusions, I feel like this is end of a cycle. But I feel like it's one of those things where it's like transitioned. It's kind of like when you have someone who's sick, they're on their deathbed, and like you don't know when they're gonna die, but you know this is pretty much the end. So the family like corrals around this person, and yes, it's a sad time, but you also know this person's been suffering, this person's tired, this person's old, it is their time to go. Of course you're gonna feel sad about it, but also like, you know, they have lived, they have loved, and it is just time for them to go. Like being alive may put them through pain. Let's say you had a family member who went through hospice. Hospice is not necessarily the best place to be, you know, so it could be a situation where they were battling something that was terminal, or battling something that was, you know, taking a toll on their body. And I feel like with this, it's one of those acceptance of like ending, very much Scorpionic energy, very much death energy and rebirth. There might be something that has to do with funeral, with the lake, with the water, maybe even with this moon energy, but it's very Venusian, very much mother, protector, goddess energy, warrior energy. And with this particular energy, I really want to hammer in the fact that if this particular feminine energy does not exist in this 3D reality, they exist just in the metaphysical, they exist in the spiritual. And if you're in tune with y'all's relationship and your connectivities, there might be certain thoughts. You might think something and then you see it. You might think something, you hear it. You know, you might, you know, be thinking a thought like, oh, I remember when we used to get flowers. The next thing you know, your favorite flowers that you got with this person is literally on the sidewalk, or the store is selling it. These are confirmations. And I feel like if you're in tune with that, you will never be alone. That's why I want y'all to know how to. And look at it this way. In the zodiac wheel, Taurus is technically 2 after Aries. So I feel like if that matters, you feel like you were left behind, or you're number 2, or you're played to the side, like don't think that. Don't think that. You're very much prioritized. You are very much loved. That was deep. That was good too. That was fulfilling. Felt like an eternal hug. Let me slide you to the slide. Slide you to the slide. Slide you to the side. Pile number 2. Tongue-tied apparently. And pile number 3. Hey girl, hey. So let's see, what is your tarot card? Pile number 3. What you got for me? Okay. It wouldn't be Scorpio season if there wasn't some secrets. My baby's got a secret. My baby's got a secret. Because it's the moon in reverse. That's why. So there's definitely something that's coming to the light, especially since this is a crescent moon. And when I see crescent moons, I feel like it's either something that's depleting or something that's coming into the know. It's kind of like, stay tuned for the season finale in 2 weeks. It's one of those things. In conclusion, cliffhanger, hanging from a cliff, and that's why they call him cliffhanger. Something's been left unsaid, or something's been like not finished. It's something that's coming into being, but I don't know if it's one of those like surprise, secret betrayal, enemy, or it's one of those situations where it's like it catches you by surprise and you may not particularly like it, but it's not anything devious, as opposed to it's like, oh, ex coming back trying to profess his or her love. Like, ooh, I curved that. I'm off that. I don't want that. Yikes. It could be something like that too. With the moon card in reverse. Let y'all see that. It's very much giving me this, you know, dead of night, dead of winter type of tease, but it's technically summer season, at least here. So I feel like maybe you've ended something, or someone ended something with you and whomever it applies to hasn't let it go, but the situation has progressed. So they might be living in the past, or they might think that you still have a soft spot for them, or you're thinking they still have a soft spot for you, but in reality it's in your head or their heads, because it's not that. But it could also be something's coming to the know, and it might catch you off guard. It might be something that you don't particularly like, but it's not one of those situations where I'm sensing like, watch out, someone, your sister sleeping with your husband. It's not that, as opposed to something you don't like comes back around. Again, that scorpionic energy, fleshing out people, places, and things, and now maybe the cords are getting cut. You're cleansing yourself, you're burning those cords, you're releasing those energies. Now they want to come back around on some like, baby please, baby come back, you can blame it on me, and I was wrong, and I just can't keep living without you. Could be. So we have beyond. Today I lift my consciousness above all worldly illusions. I remember the power I have in every situation. I always have a choice in how I respond. Today I choose to turn my thoughts towards God. By focusing my awareness beyond the illusions of the material world, I experience simplicity and peace. So this is what the card looks like. Hopefully you can see. So it's a feminine entity here with this like energy around what seems to be the earth, the globe. And this is this could be Mercury, this could be Mars, this particular planet, which would be fitting because, Scorpio full moon. But with this particular energy, I feel like it's like concentrate on the things that really matter, like your mental, your physical, your emotional, very much like be beyond the bullshit. Like when they go low, we go high type of energy. Very much like, if you see this is a trap, it's a trap. I'm gonna need you to act accordingly and not fall into the hole. Like I'm gonna at least need you to act like you know where a trap is and how to act when you see a trap. It could be one of those situations where it's like, I have to release this. I gotta let go and let God, because y'all not about to take me out today. Like it could be that particular energy, right? It could even be on the spiritual sense. Some people try to connect themselves spiritually, especially people might be, this is why you don't let people just get up in your energy field. You can't let anybody just get up in your hoo-ha. Or your, your Jimmy Johns between your thighs. Like you just can't, because some people try to pull on that energy, especially people are thinking about, like, let's say sexual interactions, or they're thinking about how the way you smell or your body or things of that nature. They're trying to pull onto your energy, very much energy harvesting. Even if you don't talk to this particular person, if they still have pictures of yours, if they still have items of yours, if they are still rehearsing your names and rewinding and playing certain memories, they're still trying to hold on to you. This could be a spiritual entity. This could be a person of the past who's still trying to call upon you, especially if you're having weird dreams or weird thoughts about a particular person that you've let go, released, no longer in your energy field, no longer engaging with the person, not talking to them. You don't even check on their Facebook. Like it's over, done with. But you still periodically get like these intruding thoughts, or periodically you get dreams of this person trying to come back, trying to get back with you, proposing to you, begging for you back, or trying to pretend like y'all are back together. That could be the energy of this particular person still trying to hold on to you. And they're manifesting you through maybe trying to get close to your birth chart, maybe even seeing some type of sorceress, because that's a thing too. Trying to, pay certain witch doctors or whatever to get a love spell, a binding spell, which always backfires. I always will tell you, do not do no fucking magic on people's head without their fucking permission, especially when shit comes to love spells. I will always tell you not to do that. But some people, they gotta try their luck. So this could be the energy of someone who's trying to call you back in a sneaky way, in a subconscious spiritual way. But if you rock with this feminine energy right here, it's not working, goddamn it. They stopping that shit out on first sight. But it could be that particular energy. It resonates for somebody. We have ancestors, generations, and then we have that snake. But this ends very much Scorpio energy, very much rebirth energy. Snakes shed their skin. Snakes do represent that scorpionic energy. With this particular energy, this could be breaking generational curses, especially if we're talking about relationships, because our first relationships are with our parents, and whether we end up being in relationships with same-sex people or heterosexuals, regardless of where we fall into the gender fluidity spectrum, our parents role model and shape relationships to us. So if we get into relationships that are less than stellar, oftentimes we'll point fingers at that particular person, and they could be really, really horrible. Like Meg, she can point the finger at Tory Lanez. A lot of these black women can point their finger at Kevin Samuels. But just like when I was talking about those little mommies who say they hate Kevin Samuels, but they first one in the live stream, they're the first ones in the chat. What does that say about you? Megan could always say Tory shot at Tory ain't shit, which those are two truths. But at the end of the day, he wasn't shit when Tabitha said he wasn't shit, Dream Doll. Tory Lanez wasn't shit when he was putting hands on his exes. Tory wasn't shit when he was trying to use black, dark-skinned women as a prop. Like, he wasn't shit in all these other aspects. It's not even his first time that he was misusing a gun. So, like, why would you hang with a person who obviously had red flags? That says a lot about you, Mom. But it doesn't take away from the fact that he still ain't shit and he still shot you. But at the end of the day, you gotta ask yourself, what was it about you that overlooked all those red flags? Because they were still there. Whether he shot you or he didn't shot you, they were still there. Those red flags were still there. What about you that overlooked those red flags? Or were you not able to see those red flags? And if you weren't able to, what about you that you can't see red flags? And this is not victim blaming, as opposed to Tory Lanez was bad. You don't want to keep running into worse versions of Tory Lanez. So you got to do that self-reflection to ask yourself, how the hell we got here? Because not so many people frequent with Tory Lanez. And it was only you who got shot. Not for nothing. Let's peel back this. Let's dissect this. So I feel like with this ancestors generations, this could be something that you left in the past that you had to cut off because you saw that this wasn't productive for you. Maybe you were attracted to the Kevin Samuels type, the finesser, the liar, the emotional manipulator, the narcissist, the sex addicts, the future fakers. These are the people, particularly men, narcissistic, who tell you all the things that they will do in the future. We'll get married, we'll live this life, I'll be monogamous to you, and you believe in it. But that future keeps on seeming like it is eons upon eons away because it never comes true. It's something that you're forever running towards that never gets closer, because that is what the narcissist dwindles above your head like a carrot. So with this, I feel like there might be some codes that you broke, some generational curses, maybe some shadow work that you have done, and you realize that these are patterns of behavior that you needed to disconnect from. Maybe you had to see, these are particular patterns within that feminine maternal line with this feminine entity here. Like, this is something I see within the women in my family, the matriarchal line. Like, I got to do better. I got to be better. This could also be, if you know me well enough, I do say, men out in these streets who be acting scandalous. I call their penis gutter snakes. This could be like, I don't want to mess with the gutter snakes no more. Hands up, don't shoot. I don't want to deal with that anymore. I want to untie myself from this energy. It could be the bad boy energy. It could be the unavailable energy. So they are mysterious. They give you just enough to keep you holding on. They say just enough to make you feel they see you, they care, but they never feed you in a relationship. What do I mean by that? They're not emotionally available. They're not emotionally intelligent. They don't make you feel secure in your relationship. They bring up other women. They undermine you. Like that type of energy to keep you feeling desperate, to keep you feeling as if like you don't know yourself, you can't trust yourself, that there's always some other woman who could quote unquote take your spot. So maybe you notice these certain patterns of behaviors in the men that you choose to be with or the people that you entertain, and you realize that you don't want to be like the women in your family. Whether, and I'm just throwing things out there, I don't know for sure, but it could be like multiple children. It could be shitty relationship after shitty relationship. It could be, you know, dating that not so great men, or whatever the case may be. You saw that issue within the maternal line, and you were like, I don't want to repeat that. I don't want to repeat that energy. I don't want to repeat that for myself. I don't want to repeat that for my kids. I don't want to do that. And then our Moonology card right here for pile number 3 is you are good enough. I feel like this is very much personal, right? And with the moon card, the moon is what? Number 18. 18, 1 and 8 is 9. 9 is very much end of a cycle. But even with 8, because you know, Scorpio is number 8, is the 8th house. This is personal. I feel like this is a personal discovery once you started paying attention to the patterns of behavior here. And with this Virgo energy, Virgos are very much the physical body, it's routine, it could even be health, it's order, it's structure, it's public image, and it's also known as the Virgin within the zodiac. I feel like with this, it's like a restoration of your self-worth. You are the prize. You deserve better, and you're giving yourself better. You're doing better. You're not undercutting yourself. Very much being easy on yourself, giving yourself grace, you know, apologizing to yourself, taking better care of yourself, standing up for yourself, guarding yourself. Very much unpickmifying yourself, if that makes sense. Like you're being a non-pick-me. You are deprogramming the pick-meism in your brain. I feel like it's very much that, getting close to yourself, finding the divine feminine within, and releasing things that no longer serve you, whether it's men, whether it's faulty belief, habits, whether it's whatever. It's very much like understanding what that is and acting accordingly and shedding that. I feel like it's more mental and physical, and he's very intentional with this particular energy. Pile number 3. Letting go and letting God, very much releasing. Maybe your Saturn has returned, because mine has. So it could be like that maturity. Maybe your brain fully developed. Now you understand things. It's like, oh shit. Like I get things from a better perspective. I'm finally mature now. Like I understand why my parents did these things. I understand why people said these things. Like I get it now. Okay, sure. So that's the energy I'm seeing. Maybe going through some growing pains, but at the end of the day, you will survive, pile 3. Because I know you got that. So these are the piles that we have: pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So that is the reading for the collective for this particular Scorpio full moon / lunar eclipse. Hopefully these messages resonate. Hopefully you take the messages and you apply them in your life the way that it needs to be. This is not necessarily me judging or picking apart people, as opposed to using public figures, the astrology, tarot, to really harvest the message of getting back into yourself, doing that shadow work, loving on yourself, ascending, and just trying to be the best version of yourself, right? You don't want to live a lifetime of trying to learn the same basic first step that, you know, you keep on remixing and redoing. Once you understand the message, once you understand the divine timing that it took for you to leap bounds and become a better version of yourself, you know, cultivate yourself, love on yourself, let go people, places, and things that no longer serve you. Once you reach that epitome of like your best you don't want to go back. But sometimes it's hard to take that first step, but you got to be the best you. And hopefully these messages encourage you to do so. Like every other YouTuber, please like, follow, subscribe, and share. Everything that you'll need to know will be in the description box down below. I would love to hear or read your thoughts on this particular reading. If you would like to show your appreciation for this particular reading, you can always cash at me at VWCine. Again, everything will be down in the description box down below. I'm still doing process painting, but I am taking some time off from that. But if you would like to know more about process painting and setting up your own process painting workshop with me, all the information will also be in the description box down below. And definitely check out past videos of process painting, what that is about, and some of the finished canvases that I have painted in the past. But that is all that I have for y'all for tonight. I was about to say today, but actually tonight. So thank you for sticking with me, and I shall see you on the next full moon reading. And watch out for content. Like, I haven't made any Russia, Ukraine. I said those words. I don't know if this video might be low-key banned, shadow banned, but I haven't, because the censorship is real and this channel means a lot to me, especially when we're talking about spirituality and painting. I don't want those videos to be so censored that my channel goes down. So I haven't done an updated video, but I have a lot of thoughts on it. Hopefully we can grow this particular channel so we can take our conversations off of YouTube and we can really get into the nitty-gritty of things via tarot and politics. But for now, I'm not going to be discussing those particular conflicts, because Big Brother and Big Tech and YouTube just be tripping. Like, that's just that on that. But I don't want to hold too much of your time. I already said what I had to say. Let us do 3 taps of the same bowl, and I wish y'all a good night. Okay, so I'm gonna do 3 taps. Inhale, exhale on each tap. Let's go. So that is all that I have for y'all for tonight. Thank you for sticking with me. I shall see you on the next tarot reading. And with all that being said, y'all, be blessed, be enlightened, be loved. I am out. Peace.